foreign companies have places in China to produce clothes or whatsoever. And getting to a high technology takes longer time. So this is mainly not getting together. It doesn't fit. And then you've been saying that the problem of gender imbalance is something that can be solved by providing female helps. First of all, we also have gender injustice then. This is not right. You cannot, like, 30 years favor boys and then 30 years favor girls. That's not really a good idea. Especially because the boys who are in search for women to marry will be in a marriage age when female are too young, just born. So the favoring for female will also be quite too late. And mainly giving, like, boosting examination or providing females with higher education, this is pretty nice for the life of the female. But not for the life of the parents, because the females are still marrying out of the family. So they mainly support the boy of another family who might get a well-educated woman. Basically, we have to say that you've been too late. You have some good ideas, but you should have implemented them really a few years earlier. So now you have the problems. If you go on for more years, like let me say 20 years or 10 years, you will have so many men looking for girls, trying to marry them, and you don't have girls. This makes men really not friendly. You don't have the women to get enough children, so basically every woman might be married, but because there are not that many women, they cannot get enough children, so your birth rate will decline dramatically. And at least I think you cannot just change who's in favor for what, because this violates human rights, whether you favor male gender or female gender. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and then you all provide your policy, critics, defense. Now we all have a general idea about what's going on. And then next session will be 6 minutes free battle. And before the free battle starts, generally there's no rules, but there's some points we have to pay attention to. Number one, there's only one person from each side could speak, which means if you another member want to speak out, the captain may yield his or her time for the other member. But there's only allowed 2 persons to speak at the same time, one from here, one from that. All right. And then number 2, always pay the respect with your counterpart.
It's not just one person the whole time, just one person at a time from each side.
Yeah, one person each time at a time, but you can, 2 persons.
I can speak first and Edward can speak.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can figure it out. Yeah, so any member want to talk, you can have your captain yield his time or her time to you. All right, so okay, so you may start the free battle.
Yeah, I got a question. They keep on bringing up this whole point about we can just have ultrasounds. Let's just prevent that right now. Well, it's illegal. Actually learning the sex of a baby in China is illegal, but it still goes on. I mean, how do you propose that we're going to enforce something that's already illegal? There's no enforcement in China. You pay the doctor $10 and oh, it's a female. Let's get an abortion. What do you suggest?
You're the opposition party and we are the ruling party, and we think that we can make the things change, which is not the case for you. We're the Chinese Communist Party.
Okay, but it's already
There's
illegal.
always another criticism I would like to address you, is that you keep on...
Mr. Speaker, can you instruct him to answer my question?
Of course, answer directly.
We are a country where we can enforce law. It's like in any other country we can enforce new laws, and if you want to implement laws, you have the right to do so.
But I'm saying it's already illegal. Like you can't. It's
Judicial
illegal.
review. Do you know judicial review?
I'm sorry.
Judicial review.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's already illegal to learn the sex of your child in China.
Yeah, that's why judicial review exists.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with judicial review. I'm talking about the enforcement. It's already illegal. So how do you propose enforcing it?
I mean, yeah, that's a very, obviously that's very hard to do. But I think corruption exists everywhere, and what we as every other country can do, what we can only hope to do, is to better enforce. We have to better regulate. We're not saying we're perfect. We need to improve as well our regulation of use of ultrasound technologies. We know that ultrasound is not meant to determine.
That's not the same.
Sorry.
That's not the same. You're talking about sex selection systems and not
Yeah.
what's it called?
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound. Because this is something else. Sex selection means before the girl gets pregnant, the search for the sperm, which gender it has.
Sorry?
You're basically talking about wrong stuff
No,
because
how am I? What?
you have
You
two
mentioned
different
ultrasound.
things.
Did you not?
No, you mentioned sex selection.
No.
Through use of ultrasound.
You've
Through use of ultrasound.
used sex selection in your papers mainly.
Yeah, right now.
Sorry.
Right
Am
now.
I misunderstanding or?
Right now, we were talking about ultrasounds, and I guess you guys propose, we can enforce it more, but I mean,
I mean, what can you do? Like, I mean,
you can't.
that's the easy answer. But please provide us with an alternative. I feel this whole time we've been presenting a policy, yet there is no counter policy. Your counter policy is a criticism. You haven't presented an alternative policy.
Our counter policy is getting rid of, China has this track record of implementing disaster plans. I mean, you got the Cultural Revolution, you got the Great Giant Leap Forward, now you have this one-child policy. I mean, maybe stop with, government intervention in, China. Maybe
Just
can get
let everything
somewhere.
go. Just let it go.
Well, yeah, let's say you stop the Cultural Revolution and China, wouldn't, would have more, artifacts. You stop the Giant Leap Forward and there wouldn't be a famine. You stop, the one-child policy and you'll see the girl ratio go back to, somewhat normal, and you'll see, a less dependent, less dependent society.
I mean, yeah. If we stop at the girl ratio, yeah, I agree with you. It will get back to normal, but at what cost? I think the population, I think, will start to grow to a point where we can't control it. We're not ready for something that extreme. We've been under this one-child policy, and I think to just let it just all of a sudden go away is too quick for our country to support something that extreme.
I mean, maybe China doesn't trust, individuals to make decisions. I think, a parent can choose whether they can support their child or not. They can decide, I can't feed more children, so I'm not going to have more children.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that. The condoms exist in China, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So I mean, parents can decide. Real estate in Shanghai is really expensive. Let's not have more children because we're going to be sleeping on the floor. Why does the government need to get in everyone's business and everything?
But going on that, if they can decide, if they decide that in Shanghai property is very expensive and stuff like that, then I mean, the policy wouldn't even affect them because they would say, oh, we can't have that many kids. Well, I mean we're just not going to have any kids. The policy doesn't allow us anyways, and that kind of coincides with what we think. We're trying to go along with what our country needs at this point, and we want to make sure that our citizens are at least financially responsible. Like you pointed out, money doesn't mean that someone will be successful, but we want to see these kids we want these kids to have every advantage that every other kid has. And I know that's a very cliche thing to say, but that's the goal.
Some of these kids don't exist because of your policy.
Correct. But I mean, on a global scale, what some people would think is like you guys pointed out earlier, we prevented 400 million births, and I think it's really crucial for China as well as the world to keep a check in the amount of people that are being had on a global scale.
I think one of the problems is the punishment system behind it. Because you punish people for having children, this comes along with abortion whatsoever, with economic punishments. I think a reward system would help much better for the current situation. So what we as opposition